Here's what you should know. The hole in the ozone layer has begun to form early this year, prompting warnings that a larger than average hole may further warm the southern ocean while the level of the Antarctic sea ice is at a record low. Satellite data from the European Centre for Medium-Range Weather Forecast suggests the hole has already begun to form over Antarctica. The hole usually begins forming at the end of September, peaking in October before closing in November or December, but the process starting in August is being considered to be very unusual and very early. The Antarctic ozone hole is an annual thinning of the stratosphere's ozone layer, which has a high concentration of ozone molecules that absorb ultraviolet radiation from the sun. The hole has been healing over time following the 1989 Montreal Protocol, which eliminated 99% of ozone depleting chemicals such as chlorofluorocarbons. Ozone levels over the Antarctic are expected to bounce back to 1980 levels by 2066. The ozone hole is usually smaller during El Nino years. A new modelling by Jacques and collaborators, including Chris Lucas of the Australian Bureau of Meteorology, has suggested it will be larger than usual in 2023 due to long-lasting atmospheric changes after the undersea Tonga volcano explosion in January this year. The modelling has not yet been peer-reviewed. The most rapid growth of the ozone hole occurred in the year 2000. Ice clouds form in the stratosphere when there is more water vapor than usual, allowing ozone-destroying molecules to gather on ice particles. And there is concern about the impact of the hole on Antarctic sea ice, which has hit record lows over the past 2 years. The more ultraviolet radiation reaches Antarctica and the Southern Ocean means there is more energy available to melt the ice. Now that we have so little sea ice, instead of white ice, there is very dark blue ocean. There is a risk that the Southern Ocean would then heat up even more and indirectly melt more ice because the water next to the ice is warmer. The ozone hole is basically a human-caused hole in the ozone layer above the South Pole during the Southern Hemisphere's spring. The ozone layer, which lies high in the atmosphere, shields us from harmful ultraviolet rays that come from the sun. Human activities effectively punched a hole in it through the use of gases like chlorofluorocarbons in spray cans and refrigerants, which break down ozone molecules in the upper atmosphere. While some extra UV rays slip through the ozone hole, their net effect is to cool the stratosphere more than they warm the troposphere. So this increase in ultraviolet rays cannot explain the warming of the planet's surface. However, the role the ozone hole itself plays in global warming and the resulting climate change is small compared to the impacts coming from multiple harmful human activities. And staying with climate change, let's now turn our attention to what's happening in Nepal and China, thanks to all the flooding and landslides that parts of the two countries have seen in recent days.